Yeah, today's topic is background jobs. Background jobs. What is this background job? Okay, to run any background job, we have a special type of a process called what? Long running jobs. To run,
Background
yes, background work
background work process.
process. Background work process. Excellent. To run any long running job, we have a special type of a process called a background work process. What is the difference between daily work process and the background work process? If you go any work to daily work process, it will finish. It will have some runtime limit. Daily work process will have some runtime limit. When it comes to background work process, there is no such limit. What actually background job is? It is an offline job. It is an offline job, or else you can say it is a non-interactive job. What does that mean? Non-interactive means what? User need not to sit in front of the system and need not to input the values. Need not to give the inputs. That means you can schedule a job. You can schedule job means a program or a report, anything. You can schedule at 8 p.m. You can schedule and you can go and sit and relax at home. That job, that program will execute at 8 o'clock. The system will call that program, it will execute. For that, you don't need any user interaction, right? If you are executing directly, just hit that program name and next screen it will ask you for some inputs. That inputs you have to inbuild, give the inputs, then it will run. That is an interactive job. For interactive job, user has to sit in front of the system. For non-interactive job, user need not to sit in front of the system. You just schedule the job. That job will be executed whatever the time you selected. Generally, long-running jobs we schedule as a background job. Why means how this background work process are different from daily work process. Daily work process we use for online jobs. For offline jobs, background job. Online means you have to sit in front of the system. Immediately you have to do that. For that we use dialogue. So, for example, there is a program, payroll program is there, employees payroll. I have 1,000 employees. I have written a program. Okay, I want to execute that program. When I execute that program, it has to fetch the data of 1,000 employees. So obviously it will take some long time. If you think if this program is fetching so much data, it will take some time. That kind of programs you have to schedule as a background. Why I need to schedule as a background? Why can't I directly execute that? If you directly execute that program, daily work process will take care of the work. If you schedule as a background work process will take care of the work. If dialogue work process is executing the work na, there is a runtime limit for background work process. This background work process is different from dialogue work process in two ways. In how many ways? Two ways. The first one is a dialogue work process has a runtime limit. Dialogue work process has a runtime limit. There is a parameter. rdisp slash max underscore wp run underscore time. This parameter value is what? 300 seconds. This parameter will restrict dialogue work process going beyond 300 seconds. If you give any long running jobs to dialogue work process, means directly if you execute now, it will run up to 300 seconds. Within that time, the job has to be finished. Otherwise, it will be terminated. Why? That work process has a runtime limit. It cannot run more than 300 seconds. But there is no such limit for background work process. Remember, you can run a background work process for hours also. There is no limit for background runtime limit for background work process. That means what? If you give any work directly, I'll show you that. For example, I want to run a report. I will show you practically. Okay, to run any report, there is a T code SE38. SE38. Okay, I'll write a report name, any report. For example, RSTP test. This is a report. Oh, sorry. RSTP test. This is a report. See, this is F8. Execute. If I directly execute, see, you cannot do anything till this program is finished. Why? Your dialogue process is busy. All your dialogues will be busy. See, I cannot hit any other T code. I have seen my mouse cursor. I cannot do anything. Why? It is online job. It is online job. I cannot do anything till that transaction gets completed. This is by using dialogue work process. Online job. Execution is online job. Directly I am executing means dialogue work process will take care of that work. To schedule a background job, there is a T code SM36. SM36 to schedule a background job. So I can give job name and job step, and I will give a program RSTP test, and I'll select the start condition anytime. I can select any time. So immediate, date and time, after job, after event, at operation mode, I can give. This is called as a background. Scheduling as a background, if I schedule like this by using SM36, background work process will take care of that work. If I directly execute, your dialogue work process will take care of the work. This is a dialogue work process means online. You can say interactive job. Background work process means offline, foreground, background, non-interactive job. How this dialogue work process is different from non-dialogue work process? Non-dialogue work process means what? All other work process are non-dialogue work process. Dialogue work process and non-dialogue work process means all other. What are they? Background, updates, pool, NQ, all these are comes under non-dialogue work process. What is the difference between these means? This dialogue work process has a runtime limit. There is a parameter which is restricting dialogue work process to run beyond 300 seconds. If you want, you can make it 600 also, not more than that. Mostly nobody will go beyond that. But there is no such limit for background work process. It can run for hours. So that is one difference. The second difference is what? The memory usage sequence of dialogue work process and the non-dialogue work process are different. And this part we will cover in one topic called memory management. That is a very advanced topic. As of now, you won't understand what exactly memory, how this memory is utilized by SAP. Everything you won't understand now. But till then, just have this sentence with you. You just have this sentence with you. When the time comes, I'll explain what is this exactly. Memory usage sequence of dialogue work process and the non-dialogue work process are different. That means how your dialogue work process is utilizing memory and how your other work process are utilizing the memory is different. In these two ways, dialogue work process is different from other work process. One is what? Dialogue work process has a runtime limit. If any program is taking longer than 300 seconds, if the parameter value is 300 seconds, you should not allow it to dialogue work process. You should schedule as a background. Then background will work for hours. It will finish that work. There is no such limit for background work process. The second is the memory usage sequence of dialogue work process and the non-dialogue work process are different. How different? We'll see later. For now, you just have this sentence with you. When the time comes, I'll explain. One is parameter is restricting. Second one is memory usage sequence of the work process are different. And what is the meaning of a non-interactive job? You can schedule it any time. Generally, we have seen yesterday, long-running jobs when we run, business hours or non-business hours? Mostly non-business hours. Mostly non-business hours we run this long-running jobs. There also we have some start conditions. See, one is immediate, date and time, after job, after event, at operation mode. Immediate means what? The job will immediately schedule. Immediately it will execute the job. The background work process. If the background work process are available, the job, the program, the report will be immediately executed. That is immediate. Date and time. You can mention a date and you can mention a specific date and time. For example, 24th August, 2 p.m. At that time, it will wait till that time. When the time comes, it will check if the background work process are available, that program will be assigned to one of the background work process and it will execute the work and it will give you the result. That is a date and time. What are these? Actually starting conditions. You'll have different starting conditions. Important interview question. They'll ask you like this: what are the background job starting conditions? Immediate, date and time, after job, after event, at operation mode. What is after job? After job means you scheduled one job, one background job, you scheduled it to 2 p.m. When you are scheduling another job, give that job name. After this job has to run. Generally, in general, we use this option for cascading jobs. Cascading means what? One job's output works as a input for next job. Right? A plus B is equal to X. X plus Y is equal to some Z. If you know the X value, then only you can execute this second statement. So these type of jobs are called as cascading jobs. After execution of that job, schedule this job. It is a condition. And after event, in SAP system, you can trigger events at OS level. Okay, you scheduled one event. After that event, it has to start. You can give that event name. At operation mode, you know this one. If you choose at operation mode, you configure 2 operation modes. What are they? Dialog mode, batch mode. Yesterday, it will ask you which mode you want to execute. You say batch mode. So after 6 o'clock, it will execute, right? At 6 o'clock, your night mode will start. You configure operation mode. If you want, you can say immediate. Otherwise, you can check the date and time, after job, after event, at operation mode also. So if you say at operation mode and night mode, it will run on the nights only, non-business hours. These are the starting conditions of a background job. You need not to sit in front of the system. You just schedule the time, go and sit and relax. It will execute the time. For execution, you need background work process in a backend. Remember that. Clear with this? Background job starting conditions. Background job is nothing but program. You are running a report or a program, anything which runs for a longer time. If you think like that, schedule it in a background. If you think this job will finish within 2 to 3 seconds, 10 seconds, within 10 seconds, then directly execute. You need not to schedule it as a background job. Go to SE38 and execute that job directly. Payroll of 1000 employees. Will it take some time or immediately it will fetch the data? What?
It will take time.
It will take some time, sir.
Right. So for that, we schedule in a background. That report we schedule in a background. Background job steps. Steps is what you can schedule as a background job. You can schedule a ABAP program. ABAP is what? SAP software built upon which programming language? ABAP. So obviously all the reports, all the programs, on which platform you will get? ABAP programming language only. So you can schedule ABAP programs or reports as a background job. External commands and external programs. External means non-SAP commands. External, outside commands. Outside commands means generally we install these systems on Linux systems. This Linux systems will have so many commands. In Linux also we have a few commands. It will take some time. For example, top CPU. Obviously it will take some time. So like that type of commands. If you want to run any script, Unix script, Linux script, shell script, then that also comes under external program. External program means non-SAP programs. ABAP programs means SAP programs. External program means non-SAP programs. If you want to run any shell script, long script, big scripts, right? There will be some scripts in your organization. You have to run that script. You can schedule that. And you have to run some commands, long running. Normal commands you can directly hit. Go to Linux command prompt and you can hit that. If it is taking a longer time, then you can schedule as a background job. So what are the background job starting conditions? Anyone? Starting conditions. Immediate,
Immediate time, date and time.
date and time,
After job,
after job,
after operation mode.
at
Sorry,
operation mode,
yeah, and after event.
After event.
after event. These are the background job starting conditions. Important interview question, remember that. And background job steps. What are the background job steps? ABAP program, external command, and external program. External program. And we have some status for background job. Status. One is scheduled, release, ready, active, finished, cancelled. Scheduled means if you save a background job without any start condition, that means at the time of start conditions, we have these many options, right? You haven't selected anything. See, this is my sim 36 to schedule a background job. Where is that? Start condition. You haven't selected any one of these. Just save. Then the job will go into scheduled state. By default, it will be in scheduled only. See, by default, any job, the status will be scheduled only. If you mention any start condition, it will come into release state. It will come into release state. The first state is what? Scheduled. First state is what? Scheduled. If you create a background job with any start condition, for example, evening 7 o'clock p.m., the job will be released and waiting for that time to come. That is called as a released. Ready means when the work process allocated to the background job at start condition. At 7 o'clock, the background work process is free, in waiting condition, and it allocated to that program. That situation is called as a ready. If that background work process is executing that program, during that period, it will be active. The status will be active. If it is finished successfully, finish it. If it is cancelled, cancel. So what are the background job statuses? Scheduled, release, ready, active, finish it. Scheduled means you created just a background job but haven't used any of the start conditions. And immediate, date and time, after job, after event, at operation, you haven't used any one. That will be in schedule. It won't release. If you mention any of the start condition, that will release and wait for that time to come. Till that time, that will be in release state only. When the time comes, then the background work process allocated to the program, that is ready. If it is executing that program, then that is active. If it is finished successfully, finish. If it is cancelled, cancel. So important interview questions here are: how a dialog work process is different from background work process? First question, in two ways. One is dialog work process has a runtime limit. The parameter, there is a threshold value for that parameter. What is that parameter? rdisp / max _ wp run _ time. The second reason is what? The memory usage sequence of dialog work process and the non-dialog work process are different. In these two ways, a dialog work process is different from all other work process. And when it comes to this background work process starting conditions, we have 5 types of start conditions: immediate, date and time, after job, after event, at operation. What are the background job steps? Means what you can schedule as a background job: ABAP program, external command, and external program. ABAP program means standard SAP program. External command means OS level commands. External program means OS related scripts like that, shell scripts, Unix scripts, Linux scripts, right? Those are called as external programs. And what are the background job status? Schedule, release, ready, active, finish it, cancel. Schedule means if you create a background job without any start condition, that will be in scheduled state. If you created a background job with any one of the start condition, then it will be released. When the time comes and the background work process is allocated to the job, then that will be in ready condition. And that the background work process is executing that job, that report, that program, then it will be inactive. If it is successfully finished, finish. If it is cancelled, cancel. Clear with this? Now I'll show the technical, practical part. See, to schedule a background job, there is a T code called SM36. SM36. So in this background jobs also, SAP is giving some standard background jobs. Standard background jobs. They're also called as housekeeping jobs. What is the meaning of housekeeping? Housekeeping service means what? Housekeeping service. If you book a room in the hotel, they'll come in a dress uniform and they knock the door. And they say, housekeeping ma'am, housekeeping sir. What does that mean? What they do? Cleaning. Cleaning activities is called as housekeeping, right? Here also in SAP, we need some cleaning activity for your system. What is that cleaning activity? So for example, I'll give you an example. My screen is visible to all. That SAP
No, sir.
screen. Okay. So in 2017, you went to some DMart or Big Bazaar, any shopping mall. You have purchased some groceries. Okay. You have purchased some groceries. You have taken that bill printout. Okay, that is customer and his transactions that are important for my business, and that bill got generated successfully. That print log will be this much, some 100 lines log will be generated for that print. Is that necessary for your business? On 2017, some Ranjit purchased these items. So we have given some bill. That bill printout got successful. Your transactions and your bill, everything is okay. But your print log is unnecessary, right? Where that is storing? Everything in SAP is storing in the database. Daily I have to take the backup of the database. Daily some thousands of customers we are giving the prints. All the prints are logs are coming into your database. Unnecessarily it is generating extra data, unnecessary data in your database. That data is not useful. That print got successful, that log, print log. Transaction is okay. Transaction is useful for you. But that print log is not useful for you. That is one thing. And second thing, whatever you do in the system, in a backend, some logs will be generated. That all logs will be saving in the database only. That also increase the data footprint of your database. In regular intervals, dumps the errors, the system will throw some errors. All error messages will go and sit in your database only. Like this, some unnecessary data is storing into the database and it is increasing the footprint of your data footprint. It is increasing. Daily you have to take up the backup of the data in organization. So unnecessarily you are backing up some unnecessary data. The data size is more and it will take long time to do the backup, and it will use more system resources. Why? You don't need all these unnecessary data, right? To clean that unnecessary data, SAP has provided us some housekeeping jobs, or you can call it as standard jobs. How you schedule that standard jobs? First go to SM36 and say standard jobs. See here, observe SAP component, basis related jobs for basis component. Okay, job name, select the job name. SAP has provided these many standard housekeeping jobs. See, if you observe these jobs, what it is doing actually, delete above dumps, delete old batch inputs, delete old jobs, delete old job statistics, delete old spool logs, delete XML, all things are delete history, unnecessary data it is deleting, right? So if I select this one, SAP underscore reorg underscore spool, this is the job name actually. But the real-time program which is executing is this RSPO 0041. You need not to remember this report name, just you have to remember this name. Any, you can give any meaningful name. SAP has given this name, so by looking at that name, okay, this is SAP standard job reorganization of spool. Okay, so it will delete all the old spool data, old print data. The naming convention is meaningful somewhat. The report which is running in a backend is RSPO 0041. And if I say immediate, the job will immediately, what is time now? 3:37. 3:37 the job will be executed if the background work was available. If I say date and time, it will ask you the date and time. And here we have one thing called period. None, hourly, daily, weekly, monthly. Based upon the data in your organization which you are generating, based on that you have to select the time interval. For example, if you are having huge number of prints, then run this report every hour. If you have less number of above dumps, run this report weekly once. If you have a huge number of jobs based on your requirement, SAP is not suggesting to run this job hourly, this job daily, this job weekly. Depends upon your business, nature of your business, you decide. If it is generating, your system is generating so many spool logs, then run this hourly. That means every hour, if you select this one, every hour 3:38, 4:38, 5:38, 6:38, 7:38, every hour this job will run, and it will delete all the spools, old spool request. If I say daily, tomorrow the same time, every day 3:38 this job will run. If I say weekly, next week Tuesday 3:38 this job will run again. Like that, if I say monthly, next month 24th or 23rd today, the same date the job will run for every month. That time frame you decide. Like that we schedule this housekeeping jobs. Few jobs we schedule daily, few jobs we schedule hourly, few jobs we schedule weekly, few jobs we schedule monthly. Based on your requirement, you can select that time interval. These are called as housekeeping jobs. Simple. Go to SN36. Okay, don't do anything here. Directly go to standard jobs. Select your component. What is your component? Basis related jobs. Your admin related jobs. Job name. Select the job name. It will give you some jobs. Okay, delete old spool. SAP underscore reorg underscore spool. This report, and this is description, and this is the actual report. And here one more thing called variant. What is that variant? If you are running an interactive job, so when you run this report, it will ask you for some inputs. If you want to run any program or report, you need some inputs. You have to give some inputs to that program to execute, right? That inputs, the predefined values, the inputs, the predefined values are nothing but variant. So for the standard reports, SAP has given some standard variants. If it is some customized job, your ABAP developed a program, and he will develop a variant for that. And when you search, give that program name, and that search the variant, it will show the list of the variants. You have to select the whatever the variant they told you. That means for that program, that variant you have to use. Means that variant contains what? The inputs for executing that program. Predefined values for executing that program is called as variant. On which server you want to run? I have only 00 instance, right? 01 I don't have only message server and NQ on 01. So I cannot run on that. I don't have any work process there. Where I have my background work process? In my instance profile 00, right? 00 is, are you sure with this 00? Yes. 01 is your ASCS, boss. 00 is your PAS. 00, this process is contained, see, dispatched in all the work process. So I am giving 00. If you have 5 application servers, then choose yours, anyone which is having the background work process. If you have 5 application servers in this list, you will get 5 application server lists. You have to select one on which server you want to execute this job and select immediate, and I am going with none as of now, and say save. What is my job name? SAP underscore reorg underscore spool. Save. When I say save, SAP underscore reorg underscore spool, what? Released. Why it is released? I have chosen one start condition like immediate. This is one of the start condition. Na? So it is released. Then check where you have to check whether the job is scheduled or executed or not. The other T code is very important T code, SM37. Go to SM37, give job name and the username. If you don't know the job name and username, then give the star means all the users, all the jobs, and the jobs which are scheduled, released, ready, active, all statuses. And you can select the time frame also from this time to this time and say execute. It will show all the jobs. SAP underscore reorg underscore spool. What is this? Status is what? Finished. Who created that job? What user I am logged in? SAP star. User SAP star. SAP star user scheduled this job status is finished. Start time and duration within 1 second. If you want to see the log, select that and say job log. See, job started, step 1 started, program RSPO 0041 variant, that standard variant, user ID SAP star, job finished. This is how we schedule a housekeeping job. Simple. Can you do one more time? SM36. First, go to standard jobs and select your component like a basis component. Select the job name. Now another job. We do another job. SAP underscore reorg underscore ababdums. What it will do? Delete old ababdums. Okay, here the program is different. RS snapdl and the variant also standard variant, and the server you can select and say immediate and none and say save. Any doubt here? This part. Save. Now go to SM37 to schedule SM36 to see the job log, background job log SM37. If you want to see only finished jobs, then if you want to see only cancelled jobs, then select uncheck all that and say execute. No jobs cancelled. If you want to see only finished jobs, only check that one and execute. Only to show the finished jobs. See, already it is also finished. SAP underscore reorg underscore ababdums. Finished. Check the job log. Why it is taking this much time? Yeah. Job started. Step 1 RSNPDL program is running. This is your short dumps from this time to this time. We haven't selected any time now, so deleted. All the jobs are deleted. All the dumps are deleted. This is how we schedule what standard jobs, housekeeping jobs. They'll ask you in an interview. Can you name few standard housekeeping jobs? So these are the regular jobs. You have to schedule these jobs. So when you're putting experience of 3 to 4 years, they will definitely ask you, can you name few job names, few standard SAP background jobs? So you should tell them this. Any five. Remember any five of these one. If you have any doubt, take a photo of this anyone. These jobs. Some job names are very easy here. See, SAP underscore reorg underscore ababdom, SAP reorg underscore batch inputs, SAP reorg jobs, job statistics, reorg spool, reorg XML5, reorg like this. Remember just the easy job names. If you want to remember, you can remember all also, but at least five from my side. Anyone taken photo of this?
Yes, bro. I took.
Paste in the group after the class. So you have to select
Okay.
like that. You can schedule a standard job. Then what about this one? What about this one? When we use this one, remember SAP is what actually? It is a ERP, standard software. Here we will have some standard programs. Standard programs means what? Which delivered from SAP. Which delivered from SAP. Those are called as standard programs. You can schedule standard programs or external commands and external statements, right? Everything as a background job. Remember, if any program report name starting from A to X, the program name is starting with R, X, C, D, S, B, A, anything, range between A to X. That is a standard SAP program. Remember that. If any program name is started with Y or Z, mostly it will be Z. Y or Z, that means it is a customized program. Means your developer developed that program. That program is not inbuilt program. For example, employee payroll. I want to uh, take the payroll of all the employees. There is no that report in SAP, standard SAP, for example. For that, what you have to do, you have to write a code for that. You have to write a program and give a name to that program. What name you give? The name will start with Y or Z. That means by looking at that program name, I can understand that is a customized program. Are you clear with this? So in a business, you need that kind of programs. Many you run that kind of many programs in your day-to-day business activities. That programs also you can schedule as a background. For that, you have to give some job name. What job name you give? For example, you give a job name like this: Z, delete, above, dumps. Why I am giving the same name again? But with Z I am giving. We don't have any customized programs here in our system. We are not developers, right? So we don't have any Z programs or Y programs in this system. But we have to practice this one. If any Z program or Y program is coming into your system, you want to execute that. How you do that? Procedure is same. Just give one job name, not a report name. This is not a report name. You can give any job name. Delete above dumps. And there is a job class. When it comes to job class, A priority, B priority, C priority means high priority, middle priority, low priority. Generally, your standard jobs, your housekeeping jobs are low priority. It is not very important to run immediately, right? Whenever you get the time, you can delete your unnecessary stuff from your system. But when it comes to A priority, B priority means high priority. High priority means this job is impacting your business now. You have to run this job, otherwise it will impact your business. That kind of programs, they are high priority jobs. There are some normal priority jobs that we schedule as a P priority. So for example, high priority I am giving. Okay, this program I want to run immediately. And which target you need to execute? I have 5 application servers. Same. Select one application server from that. Here I have only one application server, only it is giving that one. Okay. Job name, job class, and execution target. Don't say, I haven't selected any start condition, I haven't given any program names, right? First, don't save this job, go to start conditions. What are the start conditions? You know, immediate, date and time, after job, after event, at operation mode. If you select this one, the job will start immediately. If the background work process is available in a waiting condition, then immediately the job will start. That is first option. Second option, date and time. You can select a date and a particular time. For example, today 5 o'clock. What is today? 23rd or 24th? 23rd. 23rd
20.
August 22, evening 5 o'clock. Here you have another option called no start after. 23rd August 2022, 6 p.m. You can give that time. That means this job has to finish within 5 to 6 o'clock. In between that, at 6 o'clock, I have another very important job to run. At that scenario, you can choose this option, no start after. If you don't choose this date and time here, it will schedule at 5 o'clock p.m. Whenever it gets the free background work process, it will schedule and it will release and it will execute that program. If you want some restriction like that, after 6 o'clock, within 6 o'clock, I have to finish this work. Otherwise, no. Then use this option. Give the time, today time and 5 p.m. Then today time and give 6 p.m. That means the job will be executed within 5 to 6 only. If not, it should not execute. I have another job after 6 o'clock. That is that option. After job. So you schedule one job. This delete above them, some job is there, right? You can give that job name here. After execution of that job, this job will start. You can use that. Here also we have another option called start status dependent. If you select this one, if the previous job executed successfully, then only this job will start. If you uncheck this, if this job is executed successfully or cancelled, after that this job will start. If you want a dependency, start status dependency, select this one. Are you getting what I am trying to explain? You have so many start conditions. In that start conditions also you have some if conditions. If you say start status dependent, one job is there, give that job name. If you say this, after execution of that job, successfully execution of that job, this job will start. If you check this, if you uncheck this, this job will execute, whether it is executed successfully or cancelled. Next, this job will start. If you uncheck this, that is after job. And event, you can give the event name. We will give a event name at OS level. You can give a event name. At operation mode, select the operation mode. You have some peak hours, non-peak hours, right? Which one you choose generally for long-running jobs? Obviously, we go with the non-peak hours.
Non-peak hours.
Non-peak hours. You can schedule that also. So as of now, I am going with immediate and say save. See, job, I haven't saved the job. I just saved the start condition. That's it. Did I write any program? Which program I have to run for this job name? No. Now go to steps. If I say above program, you can give that program name. If I say external command, here give that a non-OS level command. External program means you can give the script here name. I'm going with above program. I don't have any customized programs here, but I know some few report names. I have seen that standard background job report names. I can give that also no? For practice purpose, any report. Or else give one other report RS spam 10. There is a report, I think. Yeah, there is a report. I'll give that report. Variant. It will ask you for variant means to run that report. Any variant is there? No variant is available. Then say save. See, one step is successfully scheduled. If you want to inbuilt another program in that, just say create and give another program. Yes, RSTP test. This is another program. Is there any variant for this? If there is any variant present, okay, no. Save. Okay, go back. 2 steps successfully defined. Now you mentioned job name, start conditions, save, step, save. Now you selected a start condition and you are saying save. So the job will come into release state. By default, it will be scheduled state. It will come into release state now. See, save. The job is with status released. Then go to SM37. Check. Z delete above dumps. Active. This is active. It is executing the program. If you do a refresh, it is finished. Check the job log, select that job and say job log. So step 1 started RSP, RSPAM 10. Steps 2, RSTP. Like this, you can run n number of reports in one background job. At a shot, you can schedule all the reports. How simple, na? What is your duty as a basis consultant here? Who will run? Who will write that program actually? That Z program, Y program, as a basis consultant, you write? No. Some function developers will write that. Functional people will tell developers to write the code for our program. Some HR people are saying developers to write a payroll program. That program is not there in the SAP. So what they do? They'll write their own code and they give that that report a name with Y or Z. And if you want to run that as a background, it needs some inputs. That inputs they'll create a variant. They'll create a program. They'll create a variant. And in a mail, they'll give you run this program. They don't have access for SM36 and SM37. That access with basis guy. So you will get a mail that you run this report and use this variant name and use this start condition. Okay, everything they will give you. Is there any problem to schedule that? Okay, go to SM36. Okay, they have given you one job name. SM36. They have given one job name like Z colon delete old some spool. Some job name. They have given that name. And they'll tell you the job class also. Job class is, they're saying B, middle priority. Okay, give that. Execution target. You know in which application server you have work process. Okay. They'll give the start condition when you want to run that. Okay, they'll give some time. For example, now 3:30 a.m. according to this system. Okay. Select that date, today's date, and 3:32 they want. 3:32. 3, oh, this 3 means what? 12, 15, na? 15, 32. Okay, 32, 58 seconds. Okay. Save the start condition. They have given that. And they give a program name also. For example, the same ABAP program. Some RSSMAPDL. Actually, these programs are that standard report programs. We don't have any other programs, so I'm using the same thing. Standard variant I'm giving and say save. Okay, step is saved, time is saved, and now save the job. Released. Then go on to SM37 and check. Is there any problem to schedule like this? Execute. See, this is release status. We have seen finished status. We have seen active status. Now we are seeing release status. When the time comes now, that will come into ready, active, finished. That's it. Refresh the page. 3:32, 58 seconds, right? Still it is in release state only. Released. Observe the status. Sorry, this is 3:32 a.m. now. Okay. 3:32 means This will be 3 only, na? Time. Three 33. I'll give. It's not changing. Okay. When the time comes, na, that will execute automatically. No, we have to wait for another 12 hours. This is how we schedule the job. That's it. They are giving the job name, they are giving the report name, they are creating the variant, and they are giving you the start condition. Everything they are giving. The only thing what you have to do, you have to schedule. Why? You have that access, SM36 and SM37. Regularly, you have to hit this SM37 T code. Regularly, when you go to office, now you have to first hit SM37. Is there any jobs cancelled? Is there any job cancelled? Night you scheduled some jobs, no? Is there any long running jobs or cancelled jobs? If it is showing active, you have to take some action. If it is cancelled, you have to take some action. Is there any jobs? No. Is there any jobs in release status? Only one job is in release status. When the time comes, it will also execute. That's it. This is how we schedule background jobs. If they are standard housekeeping jobs, directly SM36 and go to that standard jobs and schedule the job. If it is any ABAP program or report you want to run, then give the job name and job class and select the start condition, select the step, give that job report name in the step and say save. Simple. This is how we schedule long running jobs. What are the background job statuses? Anyone? Background job status.
Scheduled, release,
Yes.
ready, active, finished, and cancelled.
Cancel. Background job steps.
A BAP program, external program, and external commands.
Background job starting conditions.
Immediate date and time. At job.
After job, after event.
At operation.
At operation.
How this dialog work process is different from non-dialog work process?
Dialog have a runtime limitations.
Okay.
And
What is that what is that limitation? Is there any parameter?
yeah, it's
300, sir.
300.
300.
Okay. $300 or any number. Okay. Can you name few standard background job names, housekeeping job names? SAP underscore rearg underscore ababdums, SAP underscore rearg underscore old spool, SAP underscore rearg underscore batch inputs, SAP
XM log.
underscore SMA log. Oh, these are only these questions you'll get from the background jobs. And at advanced level, you will get a troubleshooting part. We will cover that when we are preparing for interviews. I'll cover that troubleshooting part in the background. Now I'm introducing you the topics. That's it. So when comes to the interview part, then I'll explain how to troubleshoot a background job. If a background job is running for a long time, how you troubleshoot? If some job is running for up to 2 days, whether it is running or stuck or what happened, you have to know that, right? How to troubleshoot that job? That question we will cover later. As of now, that's it about your background jobs. Is there any doubt in this background jobs concept? Please go through the note.